Hey guys, it's Aliesha, or you can call me Ali. How are y'all today? We are back for another video, but we're doing a video on how to start your self-love / healing journey and really love yourself for good. I already have a video on how to love yourself, so we'll check that one out. Other videos that I think would help, I'll link it down below. Alright, so let's get started. Okay. Number one on how to start your self-love / healing journey. I want you guys to learn your love language. Learn your love language, okay? This is going to be crucial in the self-love / healing process because you want to give yourself love. You want to practice love on yourself. So a lot of people do not know how they like to be loved, and so learning your love language is so crucial. There are 5 love languages. You can type in on Google love language quizzes and love language quizzes will pop up. You can take the quiz. I actually have a video on how to practice self-love where I go in depth about the love languages, but there are 5 love languages. So we have physical touch, words of affirmation, quality time, gifts like gift giving, and then I think acts of service. So I think I said all 5. You want to find out your top 2 love languages and make sure you are giving that to yourself. So if your love language is words of affirmations, you need to start validating and giving yourself a bunch of words of encouragement, words of affirmation. If your love language is spend quality time with yourself, you need to start spending quality time with yourself. You need to start doing all these things. Now, I do think every single love language should be actively worked on with yourself. I feel like when you're first starting, so it's not overwhelming, just practice those two, the top 2 on yourself, and you're going to start learning how to receive love. Because when you start to learn how to receive love, then you can start to receive love from other people. But you cannot receive love if you do not receive it from yourself, and you do not like who you are, and you don't receive it from yourself. So you need to start learning to receive it from yourself. So that is number 1. Learn your love language and give that back to yourself, okay? So that when somebody comes around, you can learn how you want to be treated by somebody, okay? Period, okay? Learn your love language, give it back to yourself. That's how we start, okay? Number 2, I want to talk about isolation. Now, when I say isolation, I do not mean to cut everybody off. I don't mean stop going out. I just mean spend more time with yourself than you are spending with other people. And that's going to be very, very crucial because you need to learn how to be by yourself. During your self-love healing journey, and in general, you need to learn how to be by yourself, okay? If you don't know how to be by yourself, you need to learn it, because somebody who knows how to be by themselves, that is a powerful thing. It's a powerful thing because nobody else can make you feel whole other than yourself, okay? So you need to learn how to be by yourself. That's why isolation is crucial. So during this isolation period, I want you to learn what unconditional love is. A lot of people do not know what unconditional love is, or what love truly is. Unconditional love does not mean that you love yourself based on conditions, okay? You love yourself just because you were productive that day, or you love yourself because of how you look, or you love yourself because of the things that you do for other people. That's not real love. You know, that is not real love. You should love yourself regardless of that. You should love yourself based on who you are, and not what the things that you can do, or the things that you can produce, or how creative you can be, or how productive you can be, or how disciplined you can be. You should have love for yourself regardless of the fact. Loving yourself also shouldn't be based on if you made a mistake or not, because a lot of people take away the love they have from themselves because they're like, well, I don't deserve love because I made this mistake and I was so stupid and I shouldn't have did this and da 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 da. No, you should love yourself regardless of making a mistake, but you have to learn what unconditional love is in your self-love journey and healing journey, because you're going to need a bunch of unconditional love for yourself in order to continue on to this journey, okay? During this process, you have to learn how to love on yourself, because you're going to find out things that you may not like about yourself at first, but you have to love yourself through that. So you need to learn what unconditional love is. The next thing I want you to do during this isolation period is to spend time with yourself. And let me tell you why you need to spend time with yourself, why time is so important. Somebody who spends a whole lot of time with themselves is not going to play about themselves, okay? When I started spending a lot of time with myself, I started to pour into myself, and I started to be like, okay, I can't be around you because you don't treat me the way that I want to be treated, okay? I spend too much time and investments into myself where I can't be around certain things, certain people that treat me bad. No, if I spend a lot of time with myself, if I invest in myself, and it's not even about money, but just pouring back into yourself in the way that you should be loved, right? And you spend a bunch of time with yourself, you're going to start to value yourself. You're going to start to see the value in yourself because you spent some time with yourself. You got to know yourself. You spend this time with yourself, you realize the value in yourself. So because you realize the value in yourself, you start to raise your standards. You start to walk away from people who are treating you bad. You start to require more from yourself, or require more things from life because of the fact that you spent so much time with yourself. Because time is like, you know, they say time is money, right? Think about it. Like, time is like something you cannot get back. And when you spent a lot of time with yourself, you're gonna be like, okay, no, I don't play about me. If you worked on yourself for a long time, you're gonna be like, no, I'm not gonna entertain this because this is gonna set me back for my goals. And you know, you start to know better. You start to do better, and you start to know better. And because I started to spend more time with myself, I started to be protective over myself. So when you start to spend time with yourself, you start to be protective over yourself. Think about it. What is the number one reason why some people don't want to leave a relationship or a friendship alone when they know it's not good for them? Because they invested time in it. So you want to make sure that you invest time in yourself and you pour into yourself during the season, okay? And now we're going to talk about the healing process with spending time with yourself, because this is what I want you to do first before you do anything else. I want you to learn how to heal, okay? So I want you to learn how to love yourself, okay? I want you to learn how to heal. Get a journal. During this isolation period, get a journal. Make journaling a habit, okay? When you get this journal, I want you to journal out all your negative thoughts that you have about yourself. All the negative things that you feel about yourself, your negative mindset, everything. And this is going to be very uncomfortable because a lot of people do not like to face the bad about themselves, the bad things that they think about themselves. And you, like I said, this is where you have to learn that unconditional love, because you have to fall in love with the good, the bad, and the ugly, okay? And this is why this is going to be so crucial, because it's crucial in the healing process. So you need to start journaling everything that you feel about yourself. If you feel like you're ugly, put it down in the journal. Be like, I feel that I'm ugly. If you feel like you're unlovable, put it down in the journal. Put everything down in that journal, okay? Put it down. When you put this down in the journal, I want you to feel your emotions. I want you to sit in your feelings. I want you to feel your emotions. This is going to be the longest and hardest process because it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable facing yourself. Let's be real. It's uncomfortable facing yourself. This is going to be very, very hard, but you got to do it, okay? Feel your pain. Feel yourself. Feel yourself. Oh my God. No, feel your thoughts, your pain, your feelings. Feel that your feelings, okay? I also want you to visit what other people have told you in the past, any traumas that you may have had in the past. So I want you to visit, maybe you got bullied when you were younger. Visit those things. Dig them up. Maybe your parents called you names when you were little. Dig it up. Maybe you had friends that weren't really nice to you when you were a child. Dig it up. Dig up everything, because you have to start asking yourself questions. This is going to be very, very crucial in learning how to become self-aware. You have to learn how to become self-aware, okay? So the way that you do this, you write out your negative thoughts, you feel them, then you start asking yourself questions. Why do I feel unlovable? Why do I feel ugly? And you keep asking yourself the questions. Okay, say it's, why do I feel unlovable? Okay, why do I feel unlovable? Okay, maybe I feel unlovable because somebody rejected me yesterday. Say somebody rejected me yesterday. Okay, well, why does somebody rejecting you make you feel unlovable? Okay, maybe because when I was younger, I was rejected all my life, and it's making those feelings come back up, and it's making those feelings of rejection come back up. then you start to realize the root cause of something. That was just an example. I don't really know. You would have to know for yourself. You would have to dig up the root cause for yourself and know certain things, okay? Those are just examples, but there's always a root to something, and there's a reason why you feel the way you do. So that's why you need to dig up everything. You need to dig up every single negative thought that you feel about yourself, and you need to keep asking yourself these questions during this period of time, because then you will start to believe, and then you will start to realize that a lot of the things that you're thinking, it has a root cause to it, and it isn't necessarily what you believe about yourself, but you believe it because of what happened to you. So, you know, I also want you to reflect in your journal on how you've treated yourself and how other people treated you, how your parents treated you, how your siblings treated you, how your friends treated you, kind of the same thing. The reason I want you to reflect on this thing is because let's specifically talk about reflecting on how you've treated yourself, okay? Say you've been tolerating maybe a guy that hasn't been treating you well. Okay, you want to reflect on why you allow people to treat you like that, okay? Along with that, there is a root cause, and you can still ask yourself why. It might be trauma. It might be that you have unresolved issues with your dad, or whatever it could be, okay? It could be something like that. Like I said, everything has a root cause. So you want to reflect on the way you've allowed people to treat you. And this is important because you want to become self-aware. You want to become so self-aware that somebody can come up to you and tell you something about yourself and be like, and you could be like, that ain't me. That's not me, okay? You want to become self-aware. So asking yourself questions during this time is crucial, and reflecting on how you treated yourself, how people have treated you in the past. All of these things is crucial. And let me just say, the way that people treated you in the past is not your fault. So I don't want to make it seem like, you know, it's your fault. But I do want you to also have accountability for how you've allowed certain things to go down. But certain things were not your fault. So I don't want to make it seem like I'm saying everything that happened to you was your fault, because that's not true. But certain things you can have accountability for, you know, but realize that it all has a root cause to it, and that's okay, you know. But you're becoming self-aware, so now you know, okay, this is why I allowed this person to treat me like this, because of this happened in my past, or maybe this happened in your adulthood, and you know, maybe I have a wound here that I have to treat. That is going to be also my tip on going to therapy, because I'm not a therapist. So like, you know, you can take my advice or leave it, but make sure you're going to therapy. I just wanted to slip that in there because therapy is very important. But we're done asking ourselves these deep questions, why, asking ourselves, reflecting on how we've allowed people to treat us, reflecting on friendships, reflecting on, you know, people we allowed to be in our lives. I want you to start affirming yourself. I want you to start, when you're writing these negative thoughts about yourself and you dig up these root causes and you ask yourself why, now I want you to turn them into positive thoughts. Because now that you know the root cause of the thing, and you realize most of it was, you realize that it had a root cause, and now I want you to start flipping that negative aspect into a positive. I want you to start flipping that negative thought into a positive thought. So if your thought was that you were unlovable, be like, I am lovable. Instead of saying I am ugly, be like, I am beautiful, okay? I want you to get into the habit of affirming yourself, constantly affirming yourself, because this is going to be crucial. Even if it isn't your love language, affirm yourself, because I ams are so powerful, okay? You are what you think, okay? If you think that you aren't great, you're not going to be great, okay? So you need to start affirming yourself and affirming who you are. Now I want you, we're still in isolation. We're working on all of these in isolation. I know it's a lot, so it's gonna take, it could take months, it could take years, depending on how fast and how easy you can heal. But I want you to ask yourself, what do you actually like about yourself? And do not tell me that you don't like anything about yourself, because there could be one small thing that you actually like about yourself. Maybe you like the fact that you treat people well. Maybe you like the fact that I don't know, maybe you like your skin, maybe you like your hair, maybe you like how open-minded you are, your character, something about yourself, okay? I would prefer it be non-surface level, like your character, but if it's something like your hair, girl, go with it, okay? Go with it, because I want you to just focus on what you like, okay? Write down things that you have accomplished too, because I want you to get into like this, I feel like when you're doing this, you have to get in this like this positive state. So write down things that you've accomplished in your life. And I don't mean, it could be small. Maybe you're going through depression, but you got out of bed that day. Like, it could be so small. That is an accomplishment. Your accomplishments can be small. So don't ever think that you have nothing to feel accomplished about, or you have nothing to be happy about that you've done, because you've done something, okay? So this is just to get you in a positive state of mind, and I want you to do this every single day. Like, write out good things that you like about yourself. Write out the accomplishments you made, because you have to get in a positive state of mind, along with affirming yourself and changing the negative thoughts that you feel about yourself into positive. Like, it works with also just like actually things that you already like about yourself, writing that out, and then also writing down things that you've accomplished, because then you start to get in this mood, this positive vibration, and you want to be in that positive state of mind. You want to be in a positive state of mind, so you want to do all these things because you just worked on all this healing stuff, all this trauma stuff. You want to be in a positive state of mind too. And you can also do this while you are healing and digging up like past traumas and everything else. You can do this all at the same time, probably not on the same day, but like, you know, throughout your healing and self-love journey. And then I also, during this time, want you to gain some knowledge, gain a bunch of knowledge. Okay, so what I mean by this, read a bunch of books, read a bunch of listen to a bunch of podcasts, watch a bunch of YouTube videos on topics that you need help in, on things that you struggle in, maybe on things that you could be better at. Maybe you want to increase your speaking skills. Maybe you want to figure out ways to do your makeup, or maybe you want to learn how to love yourself, so you look up things on how to do that. There's so many content creators that create a lot of stuff about like self-love and all of that stuff, and all you got to do is type it in. And the same with podcasts. That's what I did. I watched a bunch of content about how to love yourself, how to raise your standards, how to put yourself first, all of those things. And you want to be increasing that knowledge. Now that we've gotten to the point of knowledge and the point about writing things you like about yourself, now you want to write out things that you don't like about yourself but you can change. You can also write out things that you can change that you don't like about yourself too, because I will explain how that could how we can work on that too. So let's talk about the things that you don't like about yourself. Okay, so maybe you don't like your weight. Maybe your weight is something that isn't something you really like, okay? And that's something you actually can change. But you want to be able to accept yourself the way you are before you can make those changes, okay? Hear me out. And what I mean by this is you cannot change something until you accept it. You cannot change something and hate your way into changes. You can't do that. You can't just be like, oh, I hate my body, I hate my body, I hate my body, and expect it to change, and expect yourself to go to the gym, and expect yourself to eat healthy and all this other stuff. You cannot do that. You have to love yourself where you are at, and that's why I said learn unconditional love. And so the way you're gonna do this, if let's say it's your weight or whatever that you want to change but you don't like, right? You stare in the mirror naked. After your shower, whatever, you can stare at the mirror, look at yourself naked, walk around, dance around. I don't know, it might be a weird tip, but look, it works because you start to learn and accept who you are and accept yourself. You need to look at yourself with makeup on. You need to look at yourself without makeup on. You need to look at yourself with a filter on. You need to look at yourself without a filter on. Take pictures without the filter, with the filter. I don't care. Stare at yourself for hours, for minutes. That's what I did when I was trying to like learn how to fall in love with my looks. I literally stared at myself with makeup, without makeup. I took pictures without the filter, with the filter. I became comfortable with myself. You have to learn how to be comfortable with who you are and what the looks that you have, because certain things you can't change. certain things you can't change. You can't always change, well, you can, I mean, some people do change their face, but you know, whatever. You want to fall in love with what you look like, the things you can and can't change, okay? So back to the weight thing. You dance naked or whatever, you accept it. You accept it, okay? Now that you've accepted and you started to love those parts about yourself, now you want to actually start implementing those changes, actually starting to change. So you want to do, like I said, the knowledge thing. You want to research about how to lose weight, or like how to get your dream body, or and along with the knowledge, you want to execute, okay? You want to go to the gym, you want to go work out, okay? Maybe you want to learn how to do your makeup, okay? So now you research about makeup and you start executing and you start making those changes, because there are certain things that you can change to make you feel better about yourself. But I still want you guys to be comfortable with who you are and what you are, because that is where that love comes in. You have to be comfortable with who you are, where you're at right now, and you have to love yourself, because the love shouldn't come from what you look like. It should come from in here, okay? It should not be a surface level thing, but there are things that you can do to change. So yeah, nothing wrong with going to the gym, being healthier, nothing wrong with wanting to learn different makeup skills. Maybe you want to, I don't know, there's certain changes that you might want. Maybe you want a more even skin tone, okay? Now you work on your skincare. Like, do the things that you can change and accept the things that you can't, okay? Stare at yourself. Keep staring at yourself, okay? Become comfortable with yourself, period. Okay, next I want to talk about self-care. Self-care for when things get hard. Not only for when things get hard, but self-care in general. Like, you should be practicing self-care like this all the time, okay? A lot of people think self-care is only like hygiene routines, and that is a part of it. But self-care can be journaling, it could be yoga, it could be meditation, it could be things to make you calm down, things to make you cope, things to make you feel better, healthy ways to cope. Doesn't always have to be hygiene routines, but I do think that's a part of it. I love my hygiene routine. I love exfoliating my skin. That's like one of my favorite things to do, to exfoliate my skin. Also to use my steamer, that's one of my favorites, and use a mask. You have to figure out what are your favorite self-care practices that you love. Of course, everybody takes showers every day, but also like making those shower routines extensive if you want to make it more extensive, and like implementing things like meditation or yoga or whatever, like finding self-care practices for you, because this is going to be especially essential when the times get hard, when you are learning about your traumas, when you are healing, when all of these things, you need that self-care to pick you back up. You need something to get excited about. You need something to be like, oh, I love like the way like my skin is all soft when I get in the bed, and you know, you want something that you're excited about, because it is going to be hard when you're thinking about the negative thoughts, when you're learning how to love yourself, when you're all of these things. You want to have that self-care because you want to practice the love you have for yourself. Next few tips I have is to be kind to yourself in this process and give yourself a whole lot of grace, okay? There are going to be times where you go out and you think that, okay, maybe this is the time I am more like I am secure in myself, but maybe you still find out that you're still insecure and that you still are learning to love yourself, and that's okay. It's a process. It takes a minute, okay? It took me 3 years to actually get to this point, and I've been on this journey for 4 years now. So it can take you, it just depends on how much you have to heal from. It depends on how much traumas you went through, or like it, or just depends on the person you are. Maybe you have a slower progress, maybe somebody has faster progress than you. Learn to give yourself grace during this time. I also want to talk about learning to have fun even when you're healing, because this is something that I didn't do and I should have done in my isolation period. And this is what I talk about with isolation, where it's like spending more time with yourself than you're spending with others. I still think that you should have fun, spend time outside the house, spend time not healing, because I honestly feel like if I had did that, that would have probably bolted my healing process and my self-love journey a little bit more. I didn't spend the whole time isolated, but it got to a point where I was way more isolated than I should have been, and like sometimes you just have to stop the healing and just go have fun, okay? And I wanted to put that in here because sometimes we can forget, and sometimes we could be like, okay, I'm not ready yet, I'm not ready to date, or I'm not ready to meet new friends, or because you think that, like, you know, you have to heal some more, you have to love yourself some more, and that's not always true. That's not always true, okay? And then last, I want to talk about discipline. Discipline. Keep having discipline, okay? do not give up. Do not give up, because this journey is going to be ups and downs, and you're going to be like, okay, why am I still not here? Or why am I still not where I want to be? Or why am I still not there? Or you're going to be asking yourself a bunch of questions. You're going to be going in circles. And what I mean by discipline is just keep journaling, keep at it, keep doing what you got to do, keep making the necessary changes that you want to make, and you will soon enough find out that, like, okay, wow, I do love myself. I finally am here. I finally do love myself. I finally see myself for who I was. I finally see my value that has always been there from birth. Okay, like, you know, so yeah, that is how you start your self-love journey. It sounds like a lot, but it is a lot. And yeah, I have plenty of other videos, and I'm gonna do more, of course. You know, but yeah, that is how you start your self-love / healing journey, or at least what I think is going to be beneficial. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful, insightful, and just yeah, I really hope you found it very helpful. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.